Mercury's in the Gatorade again. Yeah, we know. But what should we do during Mercury retrograde? Let's get into it. And why is it inspiration always strikes during Mercury retrograde when you're not supposed to start new things? If it's something you've been kind of like going back and forth on in your head for a while, or maybe something that you bought the stuff to do, but you haven't actually done it yet, that's not a new project. So that is a full green light to go ahead and start doing the thing. It's the same thing with traveling. When did you book it? Did you book it before the retrograde? Or maybe you paid for it before the retrograde. If that's the case, you didn't do it during retrograde, did you? Side note, if you did book a vacation or there is something you're just really interested in starting, do it anyway, even if it's retrograde. Just prepare that, there might be some things that make it a little more complicated or might slow you down a little bit. Don't date during Mercury retrograde because the communication is terrible and you guys will fight and you'll argue about what a perfect time to date during the issues of communication. Whether or not this person and you can handle communicating even when there's issues. It's the perfect time to do that. So you can actually see firsthand if everything's on fire, is this person bringing a fire extinguisher and trying to talk with you and work through it? Or did this person bring the kerosene and is making it worse? Shadow work. Oh, Sam, not the shadow work again. I know, but it's always a good time to do shadow work. During this retrograde, if there's a lot of emotions, which there already is, when you're triggered by something, you need to take a mental note and that's a spot that I need to look at. And even if it's not right now because you don't have the mental capacity to work through it right now, that's okay. Mental note or physical note, write down there's an owie there that needs to be addressed. Mercury retrograde triggers the fuck out of everybody. But if you're feeling that way, what a perfect time to be like, hey, I should review whatever it is that's pushing me over the edge. And same with the relationships. It's a perfect time for you guys as a couple to go through this shit and say, okay, that's a tough point for us. Okay, cool, we'll work through it. You should also be looking at your accomplishments. If we look at the cons, we also have to look at the pros. So what have you worked on that this time around you're like, oh man, I've really healed that part of myself. I'm really proud of myself for working on that. And give yourself props for that. Make sure you're doing the positive shit too, not just the negative shit. Make a list of things you want to start after retrograde's over. So if there are things that you're suddenly like, that'd be the best idea ever, write it down. If you were to do the plan, what it would look like to you, write that down. Because when you come back after Mercury retrograde and you're like, oh man, it's time to start something new, I don't even know where to start, and look at your list and go, oh yeah, I was gonna do that. That was cool. And then you get excited about it all over again. Write it down, save it for later. So the next thing I want to talk about is a little bit of advice and a little bit of me having to mom you just a teeny bit. This is who I am, sorry for you. Use the things that go wrong during this point in time to prepare yourself for next time. If there's something that's easily avoidable for next time, you will mental note and say, okay, or again, physical note if you want, to say, okay, noted, that's something that can happen in the future. And maybe it's emergency preparedness related stuff that you're like, hey, I could get stores of canned food or something for later and put that away so I would have it the next time something were to happen, like say your power goes out or whatever. But little things like that, perfect learning experience to say, hey, how do I make a lesson from this? Because this is a really cheap lesson and it's time to learn it right now. That being said, friends, especially my little anxious friends, hi, how are you doing? Next part is for you. It's for everybody, but especially for you, okay? The point is not to try to prepare for everything that you could possibly ever imagine, because that's physically, mentally, and emotionally impossible to prepare for everything. The point is to trust yourself well enough to know whatever happens, you can handle it. I'm going to say that one more time. It's not about trying to prepare yourself for every horrible, bad situation. It's about trusting yourself that whatever happens, you can handle it. And before you say, oh, I can't handle, I'm going to stop you right there. You have survived every single day of your life up until this very, very moment, okay? And I don't care if it was ugly. I don't care if there was sobbing and tears and soul feeling like it's being ripped out of your body. It doesn't matter. You still made it and it still counts. That means you. Release the distrust in yourself. I can trust myself. Look at all the things that I've been through so far and I made it just fine. So don't let the anxiety make you feel like you have to have 17 dishwashers because what if the one breaks? Slow down, unless you have a dishwasher business, and then maybe that's fine. But back it up, okay? Instead, we will prepare acceptable amount, making a couple extra hours for travel time in case you're flying or you're driving, and give a little extra space for that. Because if there's a delay, you'll be expecting it, it'll be okay. Having a backup plan for things that maybe don't go the right way, expecting stuff to take longer, expecting communication to be kind of wonky, and you might need to explain yourself a little bit more around this time, or double check things again to make sure they actually went through, because people are being forgetful and anxious and there's a lot going on right now. That's what I mean by preparing yourself. Be gentle with yourself, go slow, rest if you need it, and you're gonna make it through. Okay, bye.